Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It is part 122 today and it is a massive one. We switch from club manager to national team manager for the very first time. We take charge of England, our nation of birth, against Italy and Germany in the European Nations League. Not a competition I'm going to show a huge amount moving forward unless we reach the finals, of course. But I feel like for our first games in charge of England, we had to show it against two top nations with a slightly transitional side as we try and move on from the old guard to the new. We'll see how we get on. If you're looking forward to finding out, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 content. We've of course got updates from the transfer window with Rangers as well. You can see the one result we had off camera up at the top right of the screen. But there's going to be an awful lot to get through at the moment. And what a good timing as well. Italy v England face off in the final of the European Championships on Sunday. And the final head coach episode before it is a big one between the two nations. So on Sunday we won't have an episode from this series, just our final predictions for Euro 2020. And on Monday we'll be back to the normal pattern. So let's show you what's been happening in the transfer window of Rangers before we turn our attention to England, our squad and our first two games. You can see Celtic flying at the top of the Scottish Premiership. We're in a spot above her there. And Hibs up there in second place already. We're losing a little bit of ground. But let's have a look at the transfers. Let's see what's been going on because the transfer window has been unpassed and it's been a strange old end to the month. Because on transfer deadline day, Finn Malcolm was sold for 12.75 million, rising to 14 to Sporting Lisbon. It's a shame because he's a brilliant player, but it just didn't look like he was ever going to stay. He was unhappy, he was causing loads of rubbish in the dressing room. So I'm hoping this will actually solve a few problems, albeit we've lost one of our best players. What's more annoying, no replacement came in. So we're just left with this sort of slightly smaller squad than we should have. I'll show you the unavailables. It's really not the sort of squad that we're hoping to compete in two competitions with, in Europe and domestically. We've got to at the very least try and win a cup with Rangers this year to get back to some sort of normality and trophy winning. And I'm not confident based on losing another star and not being able to bring anyone in. Albeit we look a bit better defensively now. Going forward, we've lost that little edge. If we have a look at the schedule though, we did beat Dundee, our former club, 2-1. The first side we managed in a Scottish Premiership, and in the first minute, Gary Allison gave them the lead. Now, he was in our Southampton youth team when we were down south there. Has moved up to Dundee and is a brilliant player. A very good one out wide, has got a lot of pace and quality. And in behind got himself a goal early on. Thankfully for us though, Di Francesco going to have to play a big role now. Finn Malcolm's left and he did that with 2 goals off the right wing. Did miss the penalty and a chance to get a hat-trick towards the end. But either way, the Ramdoita role working well. And Di Francesco looking a superstar. 3 more points on the board there. And then we got our Europa League group stage draw. Not the best, not the worst. Wolfsburg, an incredibly difficult draw out of Group 3. Krasnodar, probably one of the better ones out of Group 1, though a long trip to Russia. And then Lexois in Group 4. Not maybe the best nation to get aside from in Portugal, but not one of the strongest within that nation. Albeit, last year they finished 3rd and the year before 2nd, so maybe they are. So the other two are taking it in turns to win, Benfica and Porto, and Lexois are finishing just behind them. Incredible effort really, they've become a powerhouse, so that group may be harder than it looks. But that's Rangers, let's move on to England. Our first 2 games in charge is a very new look squad. Firstly, let me talk to you about the players that haven't made it. Rawson and Rayner both injured. So Rayner we had at Spurs, we know he's a superstar. Rawson, probably that real world-class talent we have. Neither of those able to play. We've also dropped out some of the experience. So the likes of Reece James now in his 30s, Dwight McNeil and Aaron Ramsdale. A few other fringe players drop out too. And into the squad come a few players that haven't got caps. So let's just see if we can get that up here. We have got 2 players that have never got a cap. 2 or 3 that have only got a couple, including Thomas Parks, our former player at Tottenham. You can see with all of those, lots of under 21 caps ready to make the step up. We've brought in a few players back like Faisal Sarpong, who we know have got great quality. And there is still that little bit of experience in the squad. So Foden, Trent Alexander-Arnold, who I kept above Reece James because he's the skipper. Mason Greenwood, the record goal scorer for England, got 80 goals in 114 games. And then Curtis Jones being the 4th one as well. A very strong squad. Jude Bellingham's there. He's still in his 20s, of course, but a very good player regardless. So a few bits of experience that you'll know very well. The likes of Aaron Smith and Ant Folwell we've managed at previous clubs in this series, so we know what they're all about too. And there are some quality youngsters in here. But it's going to be hard to pick squads because you could argue on paper, if we look at the national teams, Germany, ranked 4th in the world, got some fabulous players, but maybe not quite so much depth as Italy. Italy have one of the best players in the world in Canella. We've managed Evangelista, Tonali, Schiet Roma. We know they've got quality and talent in abundance. With Portugal being the other side in a group, this is not going to be easy. But let's go and pick our lineup for the first game against Italy. Pick our tactical style as well. It is a dress rehearsal for the real Euro 2020 final. And we're getting to live it out a couple of days early. Let's go and pick the lineup and we'll be back in a moment to run you through the 11. Okay, so here's the squad we've gone for. And again, I'm just trying to ease out some of the experience. Greenwood is the record goal scorer and there aren't many better options for now. So he's going to start the match. Phil Foden again. I don't just want to bomb them all out straight away. However, Curtis Jones, Trent Alexander-Arnold have got better players in their position. So they're on the bench. Jude Bellingham really not come on to the same level in this save. And actually, there's a few that were really surprising. Because if you look at the ages in real life, you might be saying, where are the likes of Saka? And unfortunately, they've just not developed to the level you would have expected. So there are our subs for today. We've got plenty of players who can come on and make a difference. I'm certainly not worried about that. What are the substitution rules here? Is it still 3? Let's have a look. Yeah, it is 3. So that's the difference between these and the friendlies. But it is going to be a chance for us to see a lot of our squad. And this one, I feel, is just about our best 11 at the moment. So we're going to try and keep the ball well. We're distributing short. We're playing a lower tempo with England. I just want to get used to keeping the ball and trying to push high up the pitch with it. We've got familiarity. I'm not sure who my starting keeper is yet. Rowe and Hall are the two we're choosing between. Both very similarly rated. Smith and Simpson, the fullbacks, a bit like real life, two of the best areas of our squad. Southern and Ralph at centre-half. Ralph we played against with Chelsea and Barcelona loads of times. Southern we've managed at Tottenham. Sarpong and Essien in the middle. Essien now at our former club Real Madrid. It's a shame he wasn't there when we were. Mamora on the right wing. Ant Folwell, one of our former players from Southampton, on the left. And Phil Foden behind Mason Greenwood. Plenty of experience in there. Plenty of exuberance and youth on the bench. In terms of the players that haven't yet made an appearance for England, we'll try and get them onto the pitch as well. Omar Kane being one of them off the bench. Hassel the winger as well. Maybe we'll try and get one a debut in each game. We'll see how it pans out. But let me know what you think will happen in this one. Are we going to get off to a good start? Let's go and see. Of course, staff reaction is closed down Michele Canella, the best player in the world. There's plenty of quality in that team. Of course, Donnarumma's still there in goal. Schiet Roma playing in centre midfield. We managed him last season. And Evangelista, who we had the year before at Real Madrid. Nicolo Barella's still there on the bench, as is Tonali, Gasperini, Bastoni. It's an excellent, excellent side. One of the best in world football. It's going to be a very difficult night for us. But let's hope we can get the win. And then it's repeated in real life at the weekend. Let's see how we get on away at Italy. As early doors, we've got a throw-in on the right-hand side. Is that Simone Scotta in there? I think it is. SEM picks it up into Ant Folwell. No idea what happened with the highlight. It glitched itself out. But Ant Folwell won't care. Less than 2 minutes in. SEN the big choice in centre mid laid him through. Ant Folwell puts it in the back of the net. 1-0 England. Excellent start. As Simpson throws into Foden. Back to Mamor. He's got a chance to go right to Simpson again. Overlapping from wing-back. Got a chance to put the cross in the box. Instead cuts it back to SEN. Schiet Roma dragged out of position. Simpson in towards Foden. Canella heads it clear. Is that Simone Scotta? Did I miss him in the lineup? I think I did. As Ralph loses out in the challenge. And Tarone's in. Wow. Two sides that can't defend in game. Or two sides that are better going forward. You decide which one it is. An interesting 6 minutes. 1-1 here in Italy. As Tarone gets it left wing again. Takes on his man with ease. Gets towards the byline. He's skinned a midfielder. It was Sarpong he beat. Tarone goes in. Completely unchallenged, he puts it over the bar. And why is the ground half empty? This is a massive international. What a strange night it's been so far. As it's again an Italy throw, an advanced position on the right hand side. Though Sarpong nicks it off Canella, then loses out again. Schiet Roma plays it back to the centre half. Evangelista, a man we know very, very well from our time at Real Madrid. Scotta gets it into Canella. Through ball to Torone. He looks a million times better than us. I mean, I know Canella very well. He's exceptional. But we've got to look at this Torone. He is tearing us to shreds, and we've got good defenders. So where on earth has his talent come from? Not a player I recognise from playing in Italy. So he was at Roma. He's an excellent finisher, but he's not particularly quick. So I've no idea why he's skinning our defence and running in and outside of them. Because we've got a quicker defence. I mean, all four of them are quicker than him. So it really doesn't make sense at all. As Smith throws in from the left to Ant Folwell, who got us off to that brilliant start, of course. But this is the problem. And we've had it for 3 years now in this save at various clubs. We are really capable of a claps away from home. Oh, you are joking. That is never, ever a penalty. SEM penalty. Red cards. I cannot believe he's given that. That's got to be a joke, surely. Have you ever seen anything like it? Phil Foden then will have to come on. I'm almost speechless by that decision. How on earth has he seen fit to give a penalty there? And how on earth do we shore things up? Right, fullbacks on defend. We've just got to sit back now and try and keep the score down. I don't know what to say. I don't know how on earth a red card has been given for that. Cleanly won the ball. Beautiful tackle. Back we go. We've dropped to balanced. Half an hour gone. This could well end up being another one of our collapses. But I am not quite sure how on earth the referee has deemed that a red card. A perfect tackle from SEN. He did everything right. It's astonishing. I can't say anything else. I don't even know what to come up with because I cannot believe that. I'm left astonished by it. As Southern plays out from the back, can we at least put up a fight? Sarpong to Smith. I mean, we're not actually going to learn a huge amount about the lads here, other than mentality-wise. As Folwell puts it into Greenwood. Got 80 for his country. Can he make it 81? Donnarumma denies him. It's excellent footwork, though. Greenwood, we have it in FM19, of course, with Newcastle. He's come on leaps and bounds there, but not quite made it happen. And it's a corner kick. An outswinger from the left-hand side. Phil Foden will take it. Left-footed towards the back post. Nobody's up apart from Evangelista. It's headed clear as far as Torone, who keeps it in, and I'm sure will skin the whole defence again. Simpson with a challenge. Should get there first. You can tell Italy are going to have lots of the territory here. We've just got to hold on the best we can. Because we've been conned a little bit there. I know we weren't looking great at 2-1 anyway. But we've been utterly conned by the referee. Hopefully no repeats of that on Sunday as we reach half-time at 3-1. Italy not actually dominated this game much. It's been fairly even. But of course the penalties made all the difference. So not the worst performance in the world. We've just got to keep the score down now. We're going to learn nothing from this second half. Right, an hour on the clock. We've kept it quite tight. And Phil Foden's got another corner now. In swinger this time to Mamor. Really good header. Really good goal. Fair play to these lads. They are showing a lot of bottle in difficult circumstances. And I'm really pleased for them that they've been able to put up a fight. Despite all of the nonsense going on with the refereeing decisions. So let's go and make a couple of changes. I'm going to bring on young Thomas Parks up front, give him a run out. Or do I bring... I tell you what, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to bring Hassel on for a debut for England. He's 26, he's not a youngster. But we've got to give him a chance. So inverted winger on support for him. Mamor will do the winger on support from right of midfield. Just so we've got a 4-4-1. We've got that little bit more of a sort of structured shape. I'm going to give Omar Kane his debut as well. He'll replace Sarpong, who's frustrated. Foden will drop into the deep line playmaker role, which suits him anyway. Mazzala for Kane or box to box. I think we'll stick with Mazzala. So they're the two changes I'm going to make for now. There will be one more later on, I'm sure. Maybe Alexander-Arnold is closing in on record caps. He is still a skipper. And maybe his experience will be crucial at the back. And Simpson's one of those we want fit for both games. But at 3-2, I feel like we have to chase the match still. With 20 minutes remaining, it's an Italy throw on the right to Papetti. Canella gets a 1-2 with Shep Roma. Back to Canella again. Some delicious through balls from him as Foden makes the slide tackle. It's into Torone and Smith heads downfield. Evangelista gets there first though. And with 15 to go, we will make that change. Trent Alexander-Arnold will come on. And unfortunately, it's Simpson who will go off. As he clears downfield, Shep Roma gets there first. Portugal have taken a lead against Germany. Fabio Silva, another real-life wonder kid getting a goal there. So it could actually get quite tight in this group as Smith gets the ball downfield to Hassel. On his international debut, a chance to make something very special happen. Not good enough for Canella there though. Does still come out with the ball. He's got a man over on the right. I tell you what, it'd be a great point if we could nick one. Hassel gets towards the byline. He's gone all the way across the pitch. Gets to the byline. Back to Kane. Into Ant Folwell. And he heads just over the bar. That was an opportunity, you know. I'm really impressed with the way these lads have performed. Yes, we're not going to get the result. But from where we were, a 3-1 after that penalty and red card. A ridiculous decision, by the way. We now come out 3-2 and giving Italy a bit of a scare. I think we've got to be pleased with that as a performance. The Nation League, not something I'm targeting this time, is part of our transition before the qualifiers. And I'm really pleased with the effort, despite the result being poor, despite a couple of silly individual errors. That's a promising start for me as England manager. England v Germany time then, another fixture we've seen in the real life Euros this summer. And despite taking the assistant's advice and going and appealing Essien's red card, UEFA having none of it. What a surprise there. So he's not available today. You can see loads of other players tired as well. So we're going to go and drop all of them out. We don't want people in who aren't fit. And I'm happy to give a few new boys a go as well. I'm going to switch the keeper around because basically the situation is Rowe is slightly better than Hall across the board in terms of the attribute comparison, the wagon wheel. But Hall's the one I think looks better. So I'm going on instinct for this game. Stocksbridge will come in at left back. Not the best backup, but it'll do a job for us now. In midfield, Sarpong will play alongside Bellingham, I think, for the experience. Curtis Jones, either number 10 or off the left. And then on the right-hand side, I don't actually know who we've got. I think we maybe have to play Greenwood off the right, looking at the players we've got available. So let's play Greenwood off the right. Let's get Thomas Parks in up front. A bit more of a focal point and a target man at home in the box. Off the left-hand side, I can play Jones with Jack Deal as the number 10, who looks a very good player technically. Jones off the left-hand side, he'll be an inverted winger or an advanced playmaker. We'll decide that in a moment. Greenwood will definitely be an inside forward on attack. And then Jones, perhaps an inverted winger on support. I'm going to give those two a try, I think. The rest of the subs can come in just to fill the bench. Our 11's almost fully changed. We've got the likes of Thomas Parks, who we've worked with before. Curtis Jones, we've managed in a few saves in the past. And Jude Bellingham, of course, very well known. So a lot of quality, maybe a little bit more experience. But let's see how it works out, because potentially it's a little less quality. Now, Germany, a very good side, as we know. The likes of Ralph Parensen, who we played against with Barcelona, is absolutely class. But this is an England side that played pretty well in the first game. We are going to have our troubles defensively as we find our best back five. Maybe we even have to think about a back three to protect our weaker defenders. And as the older players come towards the end in their more attacking zones, I think perhaps we have to think about that. Do we trust fewer, higher quality attacking players? Utilise the wing-backs who are top class as Thomas Parks is in. Take all that back. What a start this is. Greenwood knocks it down, cutting in from the right. Just a long ball up to him. And then Parks smashes it into the roof of the net. It's a quality finish by the former Tottenham man. Or our former Tottenham man, I should say. He's still there. And it's been an unbelievable start. But this is what happened last time, as we win it back with Curtis Jones. Tries to switch the play to Greenwood, but it's under hit. Kaiser on the left. Bellingham closing. Not good enough. Through to Ralph Parensen. And again, just like Italy, we score very early and then we concede straight away. Jude Bellingham missed the interception there. He's really not developed in this save. And he's one of those who's most likely to drop out from the squad at the minute. So that's a little bit of a concern. But let's make sure we don't do the rest of what we did against the Italians and let in a second as well. As Sarpong brings the ball forward to Deal. A little bit more aggressive in midfield as Suarez heads it away. Goes as far as Curtis Jones again. Of course, it's a lot more of a narrow tactic today. We've got two players from the wide areas cutting in. Stocksbridge naturally a centre midfielder at left back as he gets the ball in there towards Parks. And it's Peter Alken in goal who does the job. Another man we know very well. Came in at Real Madrid as the keeper. As Southam heads away the long kick to Deal. Bellingham down for Sarpong. One of the few men to start both games. Deal flicks it on for Parks. And Thomas Parks scores again. 2 goals in 12 minutes. Greenwood, you might have your natural successor, son. Never really got a massive opportunity for us as Spurs. Did very well when he played, particularly in the Europa League and competitions like that. But now he's becoming a superstar with England. 3 shots on target in this game. 2 for us, 1 for Germany. and all of them have gone in so far, as Guerrera gets it at right back. Long ball forward to Parensen, who again absolutely petrifies the defenders. They back off, and they drop further. And when we're playing an offside trap, when we're trying to get in behind, that doesn't really add up very well. Portugal have got the lead against Italy. It's Fabio Silva again. And all we've got to do in this group really is finish at least third. As Italy pegged them back now, another penalty, this time Canella. But if we are able to get ourselves in that position, as Mason Greenwood comes off injured, then we are going to be alright. As long as we don't get relegated from this group, it's job done. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go for Omar Kane. I'm going to put Jude Bellingham out on the right wing. It's something he can do okay. He'll be an inside forward on support this time. Kane will stay in as the sort of Mazzala role. And that just gives us a little bit more solidity. And again, another centre midfielder moving wide. And at half time, it is 2-1. Jack Deal has now picked up a knock as well though. So a few players really struggling physically here. Who can we bring on? Hassel's going to have to be the man. Curtis Jones will go in as the number 10. Hassel off the left wing will be an inverted winger on attack. And that's about the best we can do at the moment. Italy have taken the lead. Tarone's the man with a goal as Bellingham loses out from the set piece. Guerrera brings it away. And he's got a chance to go forward now with a 2-on-2. Parensen's up there, as is Kaufman. Another former Barcelona man. Gets to the left byline. In towards Parensen. Good block by Patrick Southam. And our former Tottenham man does the trick as Kane goes left to Hassel. Two men who made their debuts off the bench in the last match. And both playing really well in this one too. Jude Bellingham's got to come off. He's having a shocker. The only ones that are fit are the defenders and Trent Alexander-Arnold. So should we bring Arnold on? He can play up there a little bit. I'd rather him play in a different position though. So potentially we can go for Curtis Jones off the right wing. We can go for Omar Kane as a number 10 and Trent Alexander-Arnold as a Mazzala, which he seems to be very happy with. Trent Alexander-Arnold edging closer to Marcus Rashford's appearance record. He's about 15-20 away. I'm not sure he'll get there as Simpson gives it to Kane. Flicked onto Alexander-Arnold, crossing blocked away by Suarez. And Berry goes long downfield. Parensen can chase. Southam gets there first though. And we have looked really solid so far. Until then, I kiboshed it with the commentator's curse. He gives it away. And Berry's shot goes comfortably wide. He didn't have to shoot from that distance. And with 20 to go, Italy dominant against Portugal. Actually shows how well we did against them with 10 men. And if we can cling on for this result, the Nations League's looking good as we'll be comfortably in second place. Portugal, perhaps not the strongest side in the world, although they have come back to 3-3 now. And England look like they're going to hold on. We dropped to balanced. We've got 3 minutes to stoppage time to get through. And we've done it. England 2, Germany 1. Thomas Parks, our young Tottenham star, is the hero. And we get our first win as England boss. But to be honest with you, given the circumstances in that Italian game, I think they're two really strong performances. So, injuries galore. Greenwood is out with sprained ankle ligaments. He might miss the next international break with that. Deal, tight groin, he'll be fine. Thomas Park's a superstar. We absolutely love him already. Second time managing him and he's not letting us down. Let's have a look at the schedule. We're going to get through the rest of the Nations League with England. We'll show the last one if there's any chance of us winning it. But in the meantime, what can we do with Glasgow Rangers? I think we're going to get through Krasnodar. And then perhaps we're going to come back for Wolfsburg away and Aberdeen at home. Or maybe even a St Johnstone game, but one of them with Wolfsburg. A very difficult September, in fact. Only one home game out of 6. If you're looking forward to seeing how we get on back in charge of Rangers, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. Hopefully, just from a personal point of view, we'll get confidence out of the England spell. If you're looking forward to finding out what the outcome is, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. You get alerts as daily videos released from 2 long-term stories. But a massive thank you for watching, for supporting along as always. It really does mean a lot. We've only got 1 striker left at Rangers, but we'll be alright. And I'll see you next time for Europa League action.